Alright, welcome back to Delboy's Garage. Now, thank you. What can we say? The response to the Q&A was incredible, wasn't it, Pen?
It was. Thank you.
We had a great time. We thoroughly enjoyed it. By the looks of the comments, so did you. And a few questions asked. On regard to that, yes, we will be doing more. They will be a permanent, hopefully, permanent feature of the channel. We'll get Mr. Dyson over and we'll do them on a regular basis. We're thinking probably once every month, maybe once every couple of months, I don't know. It depends when the questions build up and when we've got the time. Second question, yes, we will be doing something with the lighting. The light on that day was behind us. It needs to be kind of in front, so we'll be working on that and possibly looking into a microphone, a remote microphone to put between us rather than in the camera. We're only using a camcorder. You know, we're not a TV show, folks. Give us a break. You know, we just do it as we do. It's a cheap camcorder and it does the job. It's about the information on the bikes. It's not about cinematic quality, but we're doing our best and we're improving as we go. So thank you for that amazing response. It was amazing. Did I say amazing enough?
It was amazing.
It was amazing. Right, okay. The Triumph is just about ready to go. And when I say ready to go, what I mean by that is it's the basic set of mods that I wanted to do to get it from being a bit daffy and sad factory bike into something that's a bit cool and a bit street. A little bit desert sled and a little bit street fighter. That's kind of where I wanted to go. So today, without further ado, another little job. They're these bars. I changed the bars and the video on the bars has been excellent. Renthal bar change. I love the Renthal road bike. This is the high version. This is their highest rise because I wanted that desert sled feel. But when they came, oddly enough, I didn't realise they're 2 inches narrower. In the Street Fighter I've got, in the Bandit there, I've got the standard road bike super low or ultra low and they're 2 inches wider. These are 2 inches narrower. So they're a little bit like that. So all I need to do is extend them. Now, short of going to say LSL and buying some desert sled bars at loads more money, I've got an idea. Now, the big guy you saw at the weekend, Mr. Dyson, is an engineer, a very clever guy, and he has access to a lathe. So I've got him to make me up some slugs. I'm going to show what they look like, how we're going to install them, which will just take a minute, and then we can extend the bar width and make it a little bit nicer in that sort of desert sled feel, so they're wider and not so narrow for the street. Okay, stick around, stay tuned. Let's see what happens. Right, now this is what our Dave made for me. That is one, and that is the other. And it's that shape for a reason. I'll come to why when we go on. That's the parts. They're made of, I believe, marine grade stainless. So they're very heavy, which is great because bar weights are essential. You must have them on the bike, certainly when you're going to give it loads of beans like I like to do. Pulling out bends, nailing the power in, can go into a tank slapper. So bar weights are good for that sort of thing. They also stop the bars buzzing, especially on a twin. You don't get that numb fingers. I think we covered that, didn't we? That was one of the questions, wasn't it? So there we are.
Yep.
Now, method of connectation. What I'm going to do with these, what that is, it's not just a bar weight, it's also a spacer. I've got a section that's going to go inside the bar, then a section of bar. That's 7/8 there, exactly the same size as the handlebar itself. So that will give me my 1 inch of extra handlebar. So when that goes in, it'll only go in up to there, and then I've got a bar weight on the outside. And the method of connecting them on is with one of these. And all that is a DIY store hardware anchor bolt. And 4 of those, and these are steel. You've ever seen these? I'm sure you have. What they do, when you screw them together, as they contract, it expands like that. And then that, well, it doesn't actually get to that size because the bar stops it. But when that's on the end, obviously it's small enough to fit into the size of the bar. These are good for Renthals. You just pop that on, and then you pop it in onto there. Now when you then screw that in, continue to screw that in, that expands quite nicely, as you can see, and that will grip the inside of the bar, and that will stop that coming out, and that will be nice and secure. So let's stick them on the bike, so they look like. Okay, we'll do the left hand side first because that's the kind of regular one where there's nothing unusual. So, the thing to do, you need to get this thing to bite. You just need a little bit of interference. That's too much. Don't interfere. There it is. Now that's the interference you need is like a knife in cheese sort of feel, which is exactly the same as when you do your shims or your tappets with the feeler gauge. It's that knife in cheese feel. a little bit of interference, just so that it doesn't, when you then start turning it, you don't want that turning, you want it held still, but you still want it able to be popped in. Get ready on the Allen key, and it is as simple as that. And then we just pop it on. There we are. Now remember, as you can see now, that's all spinach and spinach. Spinach? Did I say spinach?
Spinach.
The act of spinning is spinach. Right, now when you do that, just with an Allen bolt, you're expanding that bolt in there. But remember, as you're expanding the bolt, it can't come this way. You're trying to draw the bolt down, or you're trying to draw the rule expander down onto the bolt. Well, it can't come down because it's trapped by its own width. So what it does instead is draw this in. So that is now nice and tight. And all you do is wind it in until it stops, or until you feel that's enough. And you'll feel it because it's very fine thread. It's only M6. And these bolts I've chosen for this. Again, Duke Dyson made them for me specifically. They are marine grade stainless. And the expander is steel as well. So you're not going to get any issues with mincing threads. Unless you really swing on it like a gibbon. Okay, so what we've done, as you can see, I've created an inch of extra handlebar with just an extended bar weight. And all that then needs is to bring that down. Now I'm not going to put any WD-40 in this, as somebody suggested this evening, or any other substance. I haven't got an airline. There we are, that comes down nicely. And as I don't have an air, because you normally just, if you ever want to remove these, the easiest way in the world is pop that off, stick an airline tube up there, blow an airline in, it just pops off. But I don't have an airline because I don't have a compressor, which is a bit of a sad admission really. I should have one by now. Okay, where's the screws? I'm going to come that way so I don't ping the tank on it. And all you do is just loosen that off a little bit, just crack that off, and it will come this way. Now, if you remember in the video of fitting these bars, I said to take the, if you remember inside these little switch blocks, I'm not going to take it off now, there's a little plastic dimple, if you like, and it goes into a hole that's drilled in the bars. And I made a point of saying I don't like to drill my handlebars. I just don't think drilling an alloy bar is very safe, especially when you see the video. If you do Renthal handlebars, or Renthal the company, there's a factory tour which is brilliant because it's Dougie Lampkin ragging a trials bike around the factory. But in the midst of it all going along, you see some of the bars being tested, and they've got these bars on a jig with big weights on the end going dang, 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 dang. Now if you imagine alloy flexing that much and then you drill a hole in it, like I said, I've been there before. So this is why it's a great idea. Now I've chosen to fit these. I didn't choose to do this when I first fitted these. I could well have drilled that, now have to drill a second hole. 2 holes would be worse than 1, so there's no way that you would drill them. And that's a good job I didn't. So I'm just going to nip that up. Doesn't have to be tight, it's only a plastic thread. And it doesn't move. I've been there, done that, said that. Right, Allen's in there. Where did the Allen key go? There it is. Why didn't you tell I put it there? Right, just crack these off gently. Now each one is measured to 1 inch. So it's not as if I've got to even them up. That'll come off there nicely. There we go. I'll set them exact in a minute. Right, that's the left side done. As you can see straight away, we've got a whole inch of extra bar showing there, which looks a lot neater than that side. When you compare the two, you see the way this, you've got this nice bend comes up. Aesthetically, that's much nicer to have a bit of that showing, rather than this where everything's crowded on the end. So the next one is that side, and this time we've got the bar mirror to deal with. Let's take this off. Okay. Now these bar mirrors come with an expander, which is there. As you can see, these particular expanders are rubbish. You check that out. A little piece of alloy compared to that. There's no contest, that's all steel. I think they're cast alloy, but that's steel. It's a little steel thread, it's magnetic. So you can tell you're upgrading it. You can tell it's steel because it's 4 times the weight. Right, now that just comes to there. And that is why this particular one is split. It's got half bar weight, and that leaves a space for the mirror to go in. Now, bolt through, just to go through everything. That one first, then that one, and that one, then some washers. And then that goes on. Right, so that's us built up. Pre-expand slightly. Good to go. Let's pop it on. Again, just get that out to a point. Well, these are a great ghetto fix. You go and buy your bar end mirrors, anything, if you put Renthals on your bike, you just buy these instead of, because you get bar weights for Renthals, but they're not weights, they're just little lumps of alloy. They're not a weight, they're not heavy. If you want something that's heavy, this is the best way to do it. You can secure the original bar weights on like this. Right, there we are, got that. A little bit more. It seems that they've got a lip. Where they cut that off, I think it just dips in a bit. Right, that's it. That's it, in we go. Now if you don't have a bar weight, a bar end mirror like this, you can just do it the other way and just have another one like that. And there we are. Extend that out. And now as you wind that in, it expands the bolt and pulls the whole lot into the bar really, really tightly. And there is no way they're going anywhere. That's it. I'll just come and set that height in a minute. Let's get a screwdriver. Okay. So I'm just bringing the twist grip body out to there. Be careful obviously that when it does, you don't trap it like that so it doesn't spring back. You need a little bit of gap. Here we are. I think I'll change those for Allen bolts in a minute. There we go. Now lastly but not leastly, switch gear out. And then the Allen's there. And again, we can just slide that out. Excellent. Here we are. Okay, so that's really pretty much it. As you can see, this now looks a lot better. You've got a visual ability. They look more sort of desert sled now, and that's exactly the right look for the bike, I think, being a scrambler. Much nicer to sit on, feels much more natural with big monkey gibbon arms like me, and it's as simple as that. You can go to any, you don't have to have a Duke Dyson in your garage to do this for you. And again, thanks Dave, that is a fantastic thing you did for us, and I really, really appreciate them. I owe you one, mate. But you could go to any engineering company with a drawing. It doesn't have to be technical drawing, doesn't have to be all perfect with little lines and all on graph paper. You just need to show them what you want, tell them what you want. Remember, engineers are clever people, they know what you're talking about, they understand. Take the handlebar along. Say, look, this handlebar ain't long enough, I want an inch extension, 2 inches that goes inside, so you have 2 inches inside, 1 inch of extension, and then a bar weight on the outside that looks the part. And if it's that thick, it has to be that long to look in place. And as we said, that one, I just split that so I can put the bar mirror in and still have a weight on the end, so the weight is even both sides. So that's a very easy job. You can do that. Now, I don't know what that might cost, but it's about negotiating. Talk to an engineering firm. I would imagine if you paid 25, 30 quid for those, that would be excessive. You'd be easily getting it for less than that. And if you've got access to a lathe, you can make them yourself. It really is easy. And that saved me junking these bars because they're too narrow and then buying wider ones at 40 or 50 pounds. It's a much easier way to do it. There you are. Bars made 2 inches wider, 1 each end. Very simple, very straightforward. Check everything when you're done. Check all your fasteners, make sure everything's right. Set all your lever levels so that everything's right for your hand levels. And then you are good to go. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Much appreciated. The Q&A was fantastic. We'll be doing another one soon. The Triumph is pretty much in the road. We didn't get a chance, did we, to go out last weekend. It closed in. The weather dumped on us and we didn't get to film any rides. But we're going to have another go on Sunday. We're going out to the Harley Davidson dealer in Southampton. and then we're going to go from there out to the New Forest for a little ride, so we should be able to get some good ride past stuff and give these pipes a good blotting. So there you go, take it easy, ride safe, thanks for watching, see you next time.